Hi everybody, how's it going? Thanks for coming and watching this video. So a while ago I made a video around mid-August asking for my viewers, or you guys out there, to be brave and send me in your resumes for review. And say if you're looking for a job, or you're looking for your first job, your second job, your third job, whatever, and you'd like me to review and critique your resume, then please go ahead and send it to the link I've put in the description down below. That way I could look over them, share my feedback about them, and help everybody else out if you're looking at building up your resume or looking to move jobs or try and get your first job as a developer. So I did have some very brave viewers who did go ahead and send me their resumes, so I thought let's just jump straight into it and start looking at them. This is the first resume that I got. Obviously I like this one just from looking at it immediately. I've got the guy's name up here, and there was actually a picture here. And I've immediately got the role that they do. The thing about pictures in resumes, though, I personally think they aren't required. Obviously, there's a lot of opinion back and forth whether you should put them on, shouldn't put them on. I don't think you should put a photo on a resume, only because of basic human psychology. Person reviewing your resume, you don't know who they are. You don't know what previous prejudice they might have. And if you put your picture on there, they might judge you immediately just from looking at you, and that might put them off the rest of your resume. So I personally don't put my picture on a resume. If you want to know what I look like, you can click on my GitHub link. You can see my photo there. But the first thing you see when you look at my resume isn't my face. So I kind of don't think you should do that, but that's my opinion. But what's really good here, first thing, is the experience. We jump straight in. We are a front-end developer, and we were an independent developer as well, working on Udemy. I guess I've got some courses out there on Udemy, which is really cool. Then after the experience, we've got the education section down here, various sort of courses and certificates, and then aptitudes. So this is really cool. I like this resume a lot, because it jumps straight in. You've got the experience right there in front of your face, first thing. Then you've got education. Then a little bit further down, you've got your courses and certificates and all the sort of stuff you know around the edges. And then aptitudes. I personally would change this courses and certificates bit to just be a little bit more bullet pointed, and just sort of listing out technologies, not so much, professional web design course. As a review, I don't really care that you did a course on Udemy. I just want to know what you learned in that course. So this would be nice to just have a list of technologies basically broken down into maybe front end, back end, server side, databases, soft skills, all that sort of stuff, which you do have here, but it's kind of doubled up a little bit. Another thing here is a cool little personal profile, just who am I, and then also your contact section down here. Personally, again, what I would do is I would take the contact section from down here, and I would move up to here where your photo is. So the first thing I'm seeing is your name, what you do, and how to get in touch with you. Another little pet peeve about this one, the alignment of all this stuff in this margin here is aligned, well, my right, this probably looks different on the camera, but it's aligned the wrong way. I'd have it aligned up to this side. But yeah, no, it's cool. It's a great resume. It's very clean, very crisp, doesn't, overcomplicate things, which I think is really good. So here's another resume I got. I think this guy who sent this in is a little bit more of an experienced developer, and we'll see as we go along the resume why I think that. Number one, I just had his name here and what he does. So it's basically his name, software developer, and contact. So immediately in that side column, I've got all the relevant information that I need, who you are, what you do, and how to get in touch with you. My profile up here, first thing, is just a couple of sentences about, a little bit about yourself. I think this is a really good thing to have on resumes, because it just gives you a little introduction. You're not just a wall of text. And then we just start breaking it down. Jobs, where we worked, where I'm working now, what I'm doing, where I did work, and all the technologies and relevant stuff that you did when you were there. If you achieved anything, if you won any awards internally at the company, if you drove revenue growth, or cut down the load times of the main landing page by 3 seconds. List down everything that you've done that can be considered an achievement. Get that listed down. Then down here, just further down, education, and then as I said on the last one, just bullet pointed out everything I know how to work with, all the technologies I know how to work with. When it comes to listing technologies, I think it's a little bit don't lie, obviously. But also, similarly, if you've just, watched a 10-minute YouTube video about a technology, don't put that down. Because you might go for an interview and they might ask you about that thing that you've listed on your resume. And if you've only done a 10-minute YouTube video, but you say you're proficient in it, that can trip you up really quickly. So only really list the technologies down that you really can sit and talk about for a long time, like without referring to Google or referring to, documentation. That way you're not lying, but similarly, you might have studied something for a couple of weeks. You might have a good basic understanding of it. Like I was applying for a job here in London that used React. I never worked with React professionally. I sort of was planning forward and I took some Udemy courses and I was, learning React. I wrote it on my CV because I knew how to do a Get React app application, but I was very upfront at every stage of the interview. I do not know React. I am still learning it. But they were like, yeah, that's fine. As long as you can show aptitude that you are willing to learn or open to learning, get that down. But don't say, oh, I watched a YouTube video on Go, so I know it. It's on my CV. But no, it's a really nice, clean CV. Yeah, no, it's good. It's very nice. It's really clean. I really like this one. So this one I actually love because this is from a dude who is a developer, but he's very early on in his career. So what I love about this one is I've got his name here, nice big. Again, I'm a front-end software developer. It immediately tells me, looking at this resume, what you are, what you can do. Then obviously he's removed it himself. He's got his phone and his email and his GitHub, which is great. And then LinkedIn, a little pet peeve. This is the full LinkedIn this is the full LinkedIn URL, sorry. But you can also go into LinkedIn, go into, I think, your own profile, and you can see a shortened version. It doesn't matter. It's just a thing that can catch somebody's eye if they see a long LinkedIn URL versus a short one. I don't know. That's just something, if you have a shortened version of something, put the shortened version in. But this is really good. Immediately, right in front of me, I know who you are, what you can do, and I know how to get in contact with you. And then I've got a cool little summary. I love that word, passion. That's a really, really good word to see in, new people's CVs or new people's resumes. Because it really shows that you're not just applying for this job to do this job. It shows that you want to do this. Like you have a need or you want to do this above and beyond the 9 to 5 in the office. Then really cool, I've got the relevant skills. Again, it's a little bit hard on the eye, this one, to understand exactly what you know. But again, you've listed everything out there, which is really good. But I think I would, cut down on the sentences a little bit and just maybe bullet point out the technology. Say HTML5 and CSS3, you can split that into 2 lines. Because you also said on here, Sass. So you could include all of those together, even though Sass is a subset of CSS, blah, blah, blah. It's all to do with, the same thing. Same as down here. You say React and jQuery. Personally, if you're going for a front-end role, I would have React or JavaScript and then React as first things. Like, I know JavaScript and the library I know is React. After all of that, then you can start listing off, obviously, HTML and CSS. It's a bit to be expected if you're going to do a front-end role. But it's really nice getting data from an API, maybe list what APIs you've used or what you've worked with. But hopefully that's also in your GitHub as well, in the projects you've been working on. And then a personal statement. So again, you've got a summary and then you've got a personal statement. Maybe combine the two together and put the personal statement right at the top, but get that passion into it as well. And then I've got education. Now, what is missing from this CV is obviously work. Now, if this is your first role or you're just going into the industry, you're not going to have any work experience. But if you've worked anywhere that is a little bit related to tech, even if you've done customer support, or if you've worked in, I don't know, the IT office of a company, that's related to tech. Maybe take some of your banner projects from GitHub, the stuff you're really proud of, and get it in here in the CV. Because then that way you can say, okay, I don't have any professional experience, but I built this front end, app for a restaurant. I built this full stack app, all personal projects, but they're there as placeholders for professional experience. Because it shows that you're willing to go above and beyond. It shows that you're willing to learn. It shows that you're willing to really take that extra step and, get into this industry. But I really like this resume. It needs a little bit of work, but it's definitely going in the right direction. And then finally, I've got this one here. Again, person's name, what they do. They're a software engineer. Fantastic. This guy actually sent it to me all blacked out, so I decided not to black anything out myself. If you want to go and check out these projects as well, maybe. Again, I've got his name, what he does, and then all the ways to get in contact with him. I love this tech blog. That was really cool. Seeing that, I don't just have a GitHub and a LinkedIn or a portfolio, but I also have a tech blog. I don't have it on my CV actually, but I have it on my personal website. I've got a link to my YouTube channel. Seeing this, I think it's something to reconsider. Maybe I'll put my link to this channel on my resume, because it shows that little extra that I'm doing above and beyond the 9 to 5 at the office. So it's really good, just immediately there in front of the face, in front of your eyes. Then I've got my skills, again, perfect, very succinct, very to the point. JavaScript, React is obviously the library that knows how to work with. I love seeing TypeScript on there because that is coming in quite a lot. And then we've also got some deployment stuff. That's really good. It's really good to see. It's, that's, I guess, leading towards the software engineer side of things and not just I'm a front-end developer. Then I've got the degree that I've done down here, which is really cool because I saw this and I was like, Bachelor of Arts in Philosophy and Music. So this person doesn't have a tech background. They don't have a computer science background or a software engineering background, but hey, it doesn't mean that you can't study whatever you want and still get into tech. So this is really cool to see. Hobbies is kind of cool because that gives me a bit of an idea of who you are outside the office. So again, a really solid sidebar here with a lot of information about you. Immediately before I've even looked at what you can do, I already know a lot about you. So first thing I see as the projects, but you also have experience as a JavaScript engineer. I personally would swap these two around, so I've got the experience first and then the projects afterwards, because if this isn't the first role you're going into, it's not that I don't care about your projects, but I care more about your experience. So maybe I would swap those two around, get your experience in here first, and then have your projects down underneath that. But yeah, it's really solid. Again, this guy, like I said in the last resume, worked in IT support. That was his first job sort of, connected to tech, let's say. It isn't a tech job, but it's here on his CV, which is really, really good because it shows me, okay, this guy is technically minded. He might be a good problem solver, good at working out logic problems. And he's sort of gone from that into a web development apprenticeship. So he's shown the drive to get out of that, which is a tech career, into what he wants to do. So I think that's really good. That's really cool to see on a resume. And now he's working as a JavaScript engineer. So there you go. It's possible. You can go from a non-tech degree in a non-tech role to working as a JavaScript engineer. So it's really good. So obviously a huge thank you goes out to Sam, Jan, Dustin and Tim for sending me over their resumes and making this video possible, basically. And if you have any comments, questions, suggestions about those resumes, then obviously you can leave a comment down below. And if you have any feedback, or I think there's stuff that I missed, or I'm sure they're out there watching as well, so any feedback for them, please go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. And obviously if you enjoyed this video and you haven't done so already, go over here and subscribe. And if you want to watch something else that I've made, there's probably something up here that YouTube is recommending to you. And until next time, thanks a lot for watching.